Hello, good evening, everyone, to our Grab Guidance official YouTube channel. Today, we are here with our Grab Guidance online class, that is GG Online Class, co powered by Delhi Institute of Advanced Studies, which is one of the top institutes of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University. And they are offering you variety of courses to our graduation and post graduation student. So we all know about bit of grab guidance, but let me give you one brief about it to those who are new on this platform. Okay, so grab guidance is a platform where any user can connect with any expert, and they can select any expert according to their choice. Okay, so grab guidance, we have built this platform to connect with the learner and right expert depending on their queries they have. So moving forward, we have come up with very interesting topic, that is tips and tricks to prepare well for exams. Okay, so we have Miss Madhvi with us, and here she will explain you this topic, and she's having 17 years of experience, more than 17 years of experience, right? And she's in MA in psychology and PhD in psychology also. So, before starting the session, I request with every user or our audience to please comment if you have any problem, any query with this topic. Okay? Yeah. So, over to you, Madhvi ma'am.
Thank you, Ankita. Um, Good evening to all those who are present here. Fine. As she has said that it is about tips and tricks of exam preparation, and I think all of you will agree that examination is a part, very, very essential part of our everyday kind of achievements or success or programs or schedules, whatever it is. Without examination, whether it is examination in terms of pen and paper test or examination in terms of interview, we have to face it. Yes, um, I'll just right. Before we start, you must know that examination is an opportunity to display what you know, not an ordeal to trap you into exposing what you don't know. Why we need to understand this is whenever the term examination or exam comes, EXAM, exam, and then immediately it's like kind of a shiver in our minds that something is going to happen. We are going to be tested. We are going to be asked. We are going to be we will not be able to do well. These are some kind of doubts that run into our mind. We need to understand, or every student or every examinee or performer should understand that examination is an opportunity to display what you know. It's not exposing you what you don't know. Whatever you have learned, you're trying to present the best there. It is not that somebody is trying to find out your flaws or your mistakes, nothing like that. It is a time where you are being tested, what all you have learned in your past, and you're presenting it to show your identity to the audience or to the people around or to the whole world that this is what I know and this is where I stand. So examination should not be taken as a big kind of a fear or something which is very scary or something somebody has trapped you and I have to take this. So this kind of a thought process itself is the first step which makes us not be able to prepare ourselves well. Whenever we think of examination, it is an assessment. We should think that this is an assessment, like how we do cooking or how we do cleaning. We keep doing it again and then we try to understand what is else. So all kinds of skill driving. These are all kinds of examinations which we take up when we go for a drive. So certain motor skills when we do same way in the form in the same way when we write an examination, we should not think that it is something which is scary. We should take out that in our mind and then start our preparation. This is the first thing to tune your mind, to tell your mind that this is an assessment. This is an assessment for what I know, and not what I don't know. Nobody is going to check whether I don't know anything. It's not that. So let us understand little more about examination. Irrespective of your preparedness, very important question is how do I get through victoriously? A very important point here you need to understand is whether you have prepared for 6 months, whether you have prepared for one full year, or whether you have prepared for 3 months, or whether you have prepared for maybe around 5 months or a whole year, whatever you do, finally it is the result. It is the result that comes into the picture. So if you have done well, if you have done well, or if you have not done well, it is the result that shows. So, irrespective of your preparedness, the important question is, how do I go about with this examination victoriously? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this victoriously? And for this, you need to understand that even if if you have prepared for 3 months or 5 months or 6 months or one full year, it is the exam day when you are writing and a few days before the examination how you have planned. Maybe 3 months before how you have planned or 6 months before how you have planned. So two important things which you need to remember is number one, before the schedule of the exam, before the schedule of the exam, how you have planned your examination, how you have planned your preparation. That is one. And number two, how you write in the examination or how you appear or answer in the examination, the exam day. So these two are very, very important factors which you must keep in your mind. The examiner is interested in what you know and not your ignorance. Generally, what happens is when we go for an examination or when we go for an exam or test, if it is objective or subjective, especially subjective test, we are scared that the examiner might cut this or he may not like this point or this. You have to understand that whoever is correcting your paper, except for objective tests, except for objective, because objective tests are something which is computerized tests, which is not automated ones, which has only one correct answer and it is done in a computer way, so there is no human person involved. So if it is right, it is right. If it is wrong, it is wrong. So you don't have to think about it. But when it is a subjective paper, irrespective of whichever exam, you are taking your civils or you are taking your college exams or you are taking your school exams or you are taking your research exams, whatever, any kind of examination or an internship exam, every exam you must understand that the examiner is interested to know what you know, not your ignorance. So this is a very, very important point because generally we go with an idea, with a negative set of mind that examiner is looking what I don't know, they may ask, and generally they may say they will ask you something out of syllabus or they may ask you very difficult question. Last year it was difficult, this year it is going to be more difficult. These are the talks that you generally hear. These are the feedbacks that you hear about exam, any exam. Last year it was cutoff was this much, this year it's going to be more. Last year it was exam was, you had around 10 questions which was out of syllabus or hot questions. So this kind of things come into your mind. But you must understand that for any paper, irrespective of any exam, the examiner is interested in what you know, not your ignorance. Because he is waiting there to see how much you are trying to learn, how much you have learned, and how much you are presenting in the paper. He is not interested that what you don't know is not there to correct for that. So this you should keep in mind. With a positive mind, you should go for an examination. That is number one. You should go with a positive mind. Number two, before the examination, your preparation, and number three, the day of the exam when you are writing. So we are going to see few things what we need to do before the exam. Let us look into this. I have put down some points. Number one is study habits. When we talk about study habits, it's a very broad term, very, very broad term. You have study planners. Study planners generally starts with, maybe how to manage your time. How do you manage your time? If you have 6 months and you have another maybe a few lessons or a couple of syllabus or you have 7 papers or 8 papers or 18 papers, you have to span it into that 6 months. If you have 3 months, you have to put it in that. If you have 2 months, you have to again spread it into those 2 months. So irrespective of the subject and irrespective of the time, you have to plan it. Sometimes some people plan ahead, like a year ahead, 6 months ahead. Some people don't have that much of time, maybe because they're working or they're doing some internship or they're involved in some kind of business or they're involved in some what you can startup. So they don't have that much of time. So based on your time, you should plan your subject. So if you have, depending upon the days, how many months that, and also how many hours per day. If you have, for example, in a day 5 hours or 6 hours in a day where you can take out and you can study. So you have to plan accordingly. If you have 10 hours Accordingly, you distribute the subject. So that is study planner managing your time. Coming to study place, when we talk about study place here, what I mean to understand is a place which is quiet and which is clean, not crumpled up with things and not all around you have books and all kinds of materials or all kinds of things stacked and all. So you don't have a free air and space, nothing like that. So you should have a place which is very neat, clean. At the same time, it is quiet also, away from distractions. Reason why we are talking about that it should be away from distractions is you need to focus and concentrate. And as far as I think, you will all agree with me that we have this problem of concentration or focus generally when we sit for study. Yes. So what happens is when we are sitting for study, if there are distractions, there is noise, there is a lot of noise, or there is some kind of sounds coming, or you are in the main road street and you have vehicle sounds, and obviously it is a distraction. Hardly there are few people who are very, very, having a lot of focus, like Swami Vivekananda. He used to sit and, somebody has to push him, jerk him, then only he would come out. His attention was that good. So, generally, you will have this problem of focus, and so you need to have a constant study place, a place where you can sit, which is quiet, which is clean. So these two things you should keep in mind, that when you are planning for studies, depending upon the month, hours of the day, manage your time accordingly, distribute your subjects, and number two, a place you should choose which is quiet, which is away from distractions and which doesn't have loud voice, TV voice or anything like that, and it is peaceful, and preferably continuously you should have that same place to sit and study. There is another very important thing which is called Pomodoro technique. You must have heard about it. I don't know, few of you might have known about it. It is a focus booster. It is a proven technique. It's a proven technique where 25 minutes of study with 5 minutes of break. 25 minutes of study with 5 minutes of break, which is considered to be a very, very good and effective way of retention. Retention means to remember whatever you have studied. Generally what happens is, um, many people have this habit of doing 15 minutes of study and then 5 minutes of break, but 25 minutes is an ideal one. 25 minutes of study and 5 minutes of break is an ideal one. Some also can stretch to 15 minutes, 50 minutes, 50 minutes and 10 minutes of break, depending upon person to person. But this is very, very important, this technique. Why? Because at a stretch, mind cannot take too much of information. It needs time to assimilate, to walk it down. Otherwise, it is very difficult. The mind continuously, if you keep on feeding information, if you're continuously feeding information, it's very difficult. One after the other, one after the other, it cannot segregate. So you need a 5 minutes break. And what do you do during that 5 minutes of break? You generally do a breathing exercise. You can go for a short walk, okay, or you can just have a quick snack or anything, a juice or anything, and just walk around. Or you can also have a short, small drink, juice or anything like that. So these 5 minutes of break, what you have, this 5 minutes of break you need to take so that it enhances your concentration and focus. You will be more focused the next time when you sit for reading or learning. So 25 minutes of study and 5 minutes of break. There is a Pomodoro technique, very, very effective, and it has been proved useful. Depending upon person, if you can't concentrate for 25 minutes, go for 15 minutes in the beginning. Coming to the third point, seriousness, how focused you are. Students, this is something which seriousness is not having a long face or putting your down face and you looking very serious. No, seriousness is how focused you are. How can you decide how focused you are? Not just because you are sitting in front of the books and studying. No, it should come from here. You should be feeling as if you are doing something for yourself and enjoy doing that. Until unless you enjoy doing that, it is very, very difficult. You should enjoy learning and you should enjoy doing that. Now, for say you are doing it just because you want to get into a job or you want to get a good kind of percentage, you're not very much interested. How do you make yourself interested? Because this seriousness has to come. Until until unless you are serious about your exam, until unless you are serious about your planning, until unless you are focused, nothing will go inside your brain. You will just waste your time. For this, you need to tell your mind that you have got 1 year to prepare, or you have got 6 months to prepare, or you have got 5 months to prepare, and these 5 months I am going to work hard. This you have to tell your mind, you have to tell yourself. After this, I can relax. Once I finish this exam, I can take a break, I can go for a trip, holiday trip, or go for a long drive. So you have to tell it that you have to take this seriously. Nobody, I think, um, n number of motivational trainers or anybody, nobody can tell you or force you to be focused until unless you yourself motivate yourself. So this is very important. Then coming to the theories, there are many methods of learning. I think 1 month before, Monica Thomas was there in our GG, one of our teachers or mentor. She taught us about the memory training. She taught about memory training, and she talked about one story how to remember in the form of or how to remember a list of things in the form of a story. She was telling them. So this is something which, and during that session she also mentioned that the whole thing, the whole subject, everything can be learned in the form of a story. This is what is called images or story or coding information. Generally when you learn, you can learn, maybe it is a physics subject or it is maths, what you call formulas, or you have English lessons, literature lessons. Everything has got some kind of linking with the topic. What you need to do is when you are learning, you need to put down kind of notes. You have to put down notes in the form of link, maybe in the form of charts, or in the form of flow charts, or in the form of you can have kind of small acronyms, like a short word with a group of words, like to link, say it is a formula, it's a formula, or it is something something very difficult kind of chemistry, what you call equation. So certain things which you find it very difficult, you can use kind of small mnemonics or acronyms, we say that is the memory tricks. You have to put it down on notes. And the whole content, when you learn, you have to learn in the form of a story or linked method. You should use linked method. Why we are talking about linked method is, um, it enables you to remember the content better. Until unless you are able to remember the content, you will not be able to present in the examination. So the content part you should be able to remember. To remember that content, you should have some kind of images. You should have some kind of linking of the data. See, how do we remember? Some, for example, if we see a person, a stranger, how do we remember? We ask them the name, then we ask where they are working, or we ask them which area they live, okay, or we ask them a phone number. So some way we try to connect that person. If we ask, okay, oh, she's working in this, so she's so and so. She's Asha so and so working in so and so. So we have some kind of a linking to remember people. Same way, we need to have some kind of image, some kind of link method to remember the content also. If we do that, we will not forget. Not only now, maybe few years after also, a part of the content still remains in our mind. So this is very very important. So these are some of the methods how you can actually remember. Yes. Now there is a direct link of preparation and success. If you want to succeed, definitely your preparation should be good. Whatever said and done, when we talk about examination, it is the preparation. If you are prepared well, you will be doing well. And for that, what you need to do? For that, what you need to do is practice. Yes. So let us look at into these few things which I have just put it down, which are very very important, very very important. First one is time management, and you all know when we talk about time management, it is the relationship with time. Yes, relationship with time here implies that you take charge of your time. You need to take charge of your time. Uh, Everybody has got the 24 hours. You all agree with that, that everybody has got the 24 hours and everybody has got maybe the same kind of IQ. More or less, an average or an above average IQ. Hardly you have people who are, below IQ that you can make out during the schooling. But most of the people are average and above average IQ. So you need to understand that how well I am able to manage time and how well I am able to take charge of time. This is something which you have to understand, and this is a very important point because unless and until you manage time, you will not be able to succeed. This is very important for examination, especially examination. And then coming to repetition, recall, and retention, these are few things. Repetition is nothing but practice. The more you have time, it is better to practice the content again and again. And recall and retention, recall is again repeating the things which you know, whatever you have learned earlier, maybe the answers or maybe the big questions, or it is basically practice. And you will agree with me that all, whether it is A.R. Rahman or whether it is M.S. Subbulakshmi or it is what you call the recent, the Sri Lankan singer, whoever, they all are able to achieve success because it is a practice. And the more you practice, the better you become. So whether it is skills or whether it is learning, it is practice. And retention only comes by practice. The more you do. So repetition, recall and retention are very, very important for examination. Then whole learning process. This is something which has been told in psychology, that part versus whole. Uh, when we talk about part versus whole, light switch on. Part versus whole, generally why we are saying is, first you need to learn in the form of, yes, parts. Like little by little you should learn and then you should learn the whole thing. Now why psychology says that? In psychology it is said that uh, whatever we do, it should be divided into a process. For example, if you're cooking, you need to have steps of cooking. Okay. If you're constructing, you need to have a steps of constructing. Same if you're writing a poem or you're writing a poetry or you're writing a story. Okay, there is a process for, there's a format for it. There's a format. The letter should have this, or the story should have a title, it should have an intro, it should have a content, and it should have a good conclusion. So everything has got a process. In the manufacturing of anything or writing of anything, everywhere it is a process. So when we talk about this process, it should be in the form of stepwise process. Why? Because it gives you clarity in doing. So when you start with whole learning process, what does that mean is, start with bits and then summarize it into whole. That means you start with one or two lessons. You have 12 chapters in a textbook, or you have 18 lessons in the textbook. You have to start from lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and then link it up with the whole thing. So the whole learning process is, it should be divided as parts to whole. That is what it means. Then you should also check the process used in the past. Students, it is very important that you need to check how the preparation has happened in the past. For example, last year's question papers, 10 years, how it has been asked, the pattern. You should be updated with any exam, any exam. Any exam, you should know what are the things they have asked you, they are looking for. How many minutes it is, what type of questioning it is, what are they looking for it. So the process that has been used in the past and how people have been prepared. Take some, you need to do this kind of a small mini research before you start preparing for the examination. Then coming to summarize and review learning, you should be able to summarize your whole learning. Any subject you take, any topic you take, you need to summarize what you have learned. This is called review learning. Review learning means just take 10 minutes of break after you finish the whole thing. What all I have learned in this chapter? Or what all I have learned in the syllabus? This is what I have done. This is what I have done. I have learned about current affairs. In current affairs, I have learned about people in different departments. Or I have learned about the economic structure of India. What are the things? Or every topic you should have a clear vision of the topic and what you have learned with. The minute details you might miss out in the first thing. Maybe again revising it you will be able to remember. But summary of the whole thing should be there in your mind. Then refer notes, charts, look for points that would interest the examiner. You need to prepare notes. This is a very, very important part of exam preparation. preparing notes. Very important part of preparing examination because notes help you in the last minute checking up. So notes, charts, any diagrams, any images, shortcuts, all this is very important for you to keep in hand. Just before the examination, you can just go through and it just clicks in your mind. So look for points that interest the examiner. For every lesson or for every topic, there are something which are the keywords which the examiner looks for it. So you have to tap on that. That you should not miss out. If you write the whole thing and you miss out that, you will not score. Then avoid last minute preparation. It is always advisable that last minute cramping is not good because everything will be inside and you will just get tensed. So much is there and then you just mess up. Nothing. So last minute preparation implies a day before or 2 days before you just start opening and start reading. That is something not advisable. Then eat right, exercise, keep yourself hydrated. This is a very, very important. Students, you need to understand that exercise and keeping yourself hydrated, drinking fruits, juices, hydrated because your body needs that kind of extra effort which it is doing. It needs to be, you should have, you need to take plenty of fluids. You should keep yourself hydrated and you should have a good sleep. If you don't have a good night's sleep, definitely what happens is your energies are, it it comes down. Your memory, your energy levels, everything comes down. Because you don't have a good sleep. The memory also, what happens? You can't concentrate. You feel cranky when you get up. So having a 6 to 8 hours sleep before the examination is very, very important. This is something which you should keep in mind. No matter whatever happens, whatever you have studied, you are going to present. But if you get tensed, it's not going to help you. If you don't sleep, it is not going to help you. So having a right sleep is very, very important. These are the few things you need to practice. There is a very, very important thing which you need to do is conditioning mind. Please do not condition your mind. Do not condition your mind for any reason. Anything. Don't condition your mind. You be motivated. Don't condition that I'm going to do bad. I'm not going to do, I don't remember anything. I know I'm not going to write anything properly. Tomorrow I'm going to go late to the examination. I'm going to get a tough paper. These are things which you should not talk to your mind. You should not condition your mind no matter whatever. You should always feel motivated. Motivated implies here, yes, I'm going to take examination. That kind of drive should be there. And please remember, 50% of the problems are imaginary, and 30% of the problems don't harm us, and 20% of the problems we can actually tackle it. This is the fundamental reality of life. Generally, we imagine something is going to wrong. This is leading to anxiety and tension. It's just imaginary. You don't know what is going to happen in future. Tomorrow, what kind of paper is going to come, you don't know. You just imagine. That leads to 50% of the problem. And 30% of the problems, like you will not get a vehicle, or you will not get a good seat, or the table will be moving, or you will have a room which is not properly lit in the exam. This don't won't harm you. It's not going to harm you. Only 20% of the problem, that is what you need to remember, is problems like, if I have learned something, will I be able to present it in the examination? This is something which you have to remember, and this you can tackle. And the reason for anxiety generally is lack of self-belief. Students, you must understand that if you don't believe in yourself, you will not be able to perform well. And this anxiety is generally because of some unknown fear, imaginary fear. Something is going wrong. So you are training your mind for fear. You are training your mind for stress. Don't do that. It is not correct. It's not correct. Underpreparedness, procrastination, and cramped information. So if you are not prepared, fine, don't worry. Whatever you're prepared. You can't do anything in the last minute. Okay. And procrastination, you know that it is postponing the things. Postpone today I will do, tomorrow I can study. So after procrastination, you keep on. And this cramping information, last minute preparation. These three generally leads to stress. Generally, if you're not prepared well, you will feel stressed. You're postponing things, you will feel stressed. If you're putting all the information, you will feel stressed. Definitely, you will feel stressed. So, what will happen if you feel that kind of stress? What do you need to do? Say, for example, you are in such a situation, then the whole thing will be inside you. You will be bottled up with stress. Don't do that. What you need to do is you need to talk to a friend or a family member or to your teacher or to any of your facilitator, to your instructor, parents, somebody you need to talk to and tell this is what I'm going through. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling very stressed. I don't know what to do. How do I take charge of myself? I'm not prepared well because I did not plan well. Now the whole information is there. What I need to do. So don't, even if you feel stressed, don't keep that stress inside you because that is not a healthy sign. You will not be able to go ahead with your examination the next day. So what you need to do is don't keep such things in your mind. Even if it comes up, talk to someone. Don't keep such things in your mind. Don't stress yourself. And if you bottle up your stress, it is not right. So you need to talk to somebody, talk to friends or anything. Tell them. Definitely you will get help from somebody, some elder person or friend or sister, any cousins. You need to talk up and say, this is what I am. And then you will feel relieved because you have told your problem to somebody. You will feel relieved. And then your mind starts thinking what to do next. You will only plan. Okay, tomorrow is the examination. I have not studied. This is what is my preparation. It's not up to the mark. I'll do my best. Whatever I know, I'll write. At least you will be able to perform well. May not be best, but better. But if you feel stressed, you will not be able to do anything. So don't condition your mind, be motivated, don't think of unknown anxieties and unknown fears. And if you are still feeling stressed, talk to somebody and take it out. Plan it that I need to write the examination, I'll do my best. If I don't get this time, next time. So that is how you need to train your mind. The exam day, let us look into at what we need to do on the exam day. This is something very, very important. I would prefer those who believe in prayer. It's always better to pray and then start the day because prayer is something which gives us peace. And until unless we are at peace, we will not be able to perform. We don't need to be tensed and hassled kind of thing. Then we can't perform well. So pray, or you just do meditation, or just sit and relax, do deep breathing exercise. If you don't want to pray, then eat a very good breakfast, a very nutritious breakfast, because if you are writing 3 hours paper, you are writing 2 hours paper, and or 1 hour paper also, going, commuting to the exam hall, coming back, it all drains the energy. So you need to have a good healthy breakfast with a lot of fluids, take your water bottle and all. And revision, which I mean here in the morning, is the last minute notes which you can see. You can just glance through the notes, not more than that. Don't start learning or reading a lesson in the morning. That's wrong. You should not do that. Okay. And then come arrive early to the center, whichever examination center you have. If it is a couple of hours of journey is there, you need to go there early. Okay, it's always advisable that you reach the examination place early. That gives you some breathing time. You are relaxed. You can look around. You can check for washrooms. So you are relaxed. So arriving early to the examination hall is important. Then power of words. I'm nervous. I'm dead. Don't tell that. So generally what happens when you move to the examination hall, you see friends there or some known people there, and they will say, I'm feeling very nervous. My preparation is not up to the mark. I'm just dead. I don't know whether I will be able to. These are the words you need to avoid. You need to avoid listening to. You need to avoid speaking to also. You should not say this because this will make you more a weaker person. You'll forget whatever you have learned because you are training your mind, you're conditioning your mind. Don't do that. So you should not use. And then take deep breath, meditate, walk around the whole place wherever you are, just move around, just relax yourself. Put yourself in an empowering state. Empowering state here means um, I have come for an examination and I am going to do it best. This you have to repeat yourself and tell because there is lot of power in words. Because words are something which tune our mind. Actions, it directs the action. If you talk negative, definitely everything will be negative. Recently, we had that corona. We have been, actually not recently. We are actually in the waiting for the third wave, like kind of thing. So for corona, you must have seen, and it has been clearly told that the more you get tense, the more you fear, the body immunity comes down. So imagine if your immunity can come down, that means you don't have the strength to write an examination. It's not correct. So you should put yourself in an empowering state. Your posture should be right. You feel, yes, I'm going for an examination. I'm going to write well. This is just an assessment of what all I know. Okay, and then when you start writing the question paper, read the question paper, scan it. Yes, read. Sorry, read the question paper, scan and read the question paper, understand the meaning of terms like elucidate, describe, complete, state, the terms, the question you need to understand it very clearly. And then you should start writing. The easy questions first, if you feel comfortable writing the easy questions, write the easy because that is something tested method. Easy ones you write, you feel confident. Yes, I have answered these questions. I can take up the difficult ones also. So it is a tested method that you go with easy method and read the question carefully. For that only, I think for the 10th board examinations as well as for the plus two also, they're giving reading time. Children need to read. For every examination, they may not specify specifically the reading time, but you need to take some time for reading the whole question paper. Give a quick reading, understand what are the areas where I can start, and then start writing. And please understand the terms because those terms are something which the examiner is looking for. Don't get confused. Think and then write. Allocate time wisely. Very important during the examination is just keep on writing and you forget to write the other questions. Don't do that. How much time I need to keep track of the time. I finished 1 hour and how much more questions I have to answer, how many more questions I have to attempt. So you have to allocate time very, very wisely. And then keep last 15 minutes to check because that is very important. Until unless you have a slack time of 15 minutes to check, it will not be useful for you. So it's very, very important to keep 15 or at least 10 minutes to check whether you have written all and put a tick mark for the questions which you have attempted. So 15 minutes check is important. You have written your name, you have written your roll number correctly, you have attempted all the questions, you have not left out any tag questions. This is very important. That checking is very important. Now, this we have understood that what we need to do a day before the examination, few months before the examination, not to condition our mind, and on the day of the examination, what we need to do. On the day of the examination, how we need to take charge of ourselves, empower ourselves to write the exam with a positive mind. Students, you need to understand that studying is a difficult and rough terrain. Why I have put this in is generally we all say, oh, we need to study. It's so good to play and enjoy or watch a movie or go for riding or go for swimming or just do all kinds of activities. Studying is something which is so difficult. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, it is. I will not say it is not difficult. It is difficult and it is a rough terrain. Rough terrain implies why? Because of the competitiveness, because of the different things which you learn. You have so many subjects to learn. You have so many different areas to cover. Okay, and you are expected to learn all that. So it is difficult. Let us go with the idea that it is difficult. But when can it become enjoyable? When you develop the habit of knowing the joy of learning. You need to understand this, students. You need to understand that any difficult task becomes enjoyable only if you enjoy doing it. If you don't enjoy doing it, it is difficult. No matter whatever it is, whether it is cleaning, washing, cooking, driving, watching, hearing, listening, anything, any activity becomes a burden if you don't enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it. So it is important for you to enjoy learning. If you enjoy learning, you will not find the difficulty too much. Even though it is difficult, but you will not find it that difficult. And cultivate the habit of knowing because this is a very, very important habit. Recently, what is expected of students who join software industry or students who join any skill industry or students who are joining professional courses or companies, What people are looking for is whether they are ready to learn. You need to be like, because everybody doesn't know everything. Everybody will not know everything. It's not possible. The whole the all the encyclopedias you learn, still you have so much to learn in this world. Every day it is new things coming up. So what you need to do is you should be a constant learner. So joy of learning you need to develop, and clarity of purpose and calmness of mind will lead you to success. Very two important points. Clarity of, you should know what you are going to write. You are writing an examination. What kind of examination? What is expected from you? And with a calm mind, not with a stressed mind. Definitely you will get success. Definitely. Because if you're going with a positive mind, with a calm mind, you will achieve success and you know what you're going to write. So these two are very important. Be proactive students, because that is can do attitude will always put you in the higher pedestal. If you have this can do attitude, I can do it. No matter whatever it is. It might be difficult in the initial, but you keep telling yourself, yes, I can do. I can clear the examination. I can. This has to be there in your mind. Don't ever condition your mind for wrong things. I can't take up. I feel it is difficult. I know I cannot. I'm not fit for it. These are not the terms to be said, because any examination, if you prepare properly, plan with a positive attitude, you can do it. And a very important thing which you need to remember is memory lasts longer when the intent is stronger. What do you understand by this? Anything. How many of you remember maybe your childhood days, mommy or papa must have taken you for a trip, or a party which you have enjoyed, or you will never forget, or maybe 10th farewell party or 12th farewell party or college farewell party. Generally, we don't forget important events and all. Why? Because something is very much, you're very attached to it. You were waiting for that day. You went there. You enjoyed. Everything is fresh in your mind. Same way, memory lasts longer when the intent is stronger. If you are intended to write the examination and you feel empowered, yes, I'm going to write the exam, I'm going to do well, you will not come. Your memory will help you. Your memory will not betray you. It will not betray you. It will be a supporter for you. It will be a supporter for you. It will say, yes, you have learned this. This is what you know. Go ahead. Memory is a supporter. It is not an enemy for us. It's not an enemy for us. But your desire, your intent should be stronger. Your desire and your will. Yes, I am writing it. Please remember, examination is not something like an ordeal. It is not something, it's just an assessment of what all you know. Everybody is writing an exam. Everybody. And most of them, they write exam different ways. Some write paper and pencil test, some go for driving exercises, some go for other operational kind of things, some do some kinds of examinations there. Whatever said and done, different types, different types. So when you are writing an exam, don't think otherwise. And definitely your memory, your knowledge will help you to pass the examination better. Yes, with that, I would just stop. Anything now it is.
Yeah, hi, ma'am. So, thank you so much, ma'am, for the valuable session. I hope today's audience will learn something out of it. And we have some queries, ma'am.
Yes.
Uh, yes, so we have query from Ayush. Ma'am, how to deal with exam stress?
How to deal with
Exam
pardon?
stress.
Yes, this is something. See, we have been talking about. We have ourselves created the stress. Ayush, you must understand that nothing comes from outside. It is just inside. Every problem has a solution from you only. The problem starts from you, so the solution is also within you. You have to train your mind and say this word stress. You have conditioned your mind. You should tell this no stress. What you have learned, you're going to present. You are thinking about the result, so you're getting stressed. It has been
Right.
clearly said that don't think of the result. The journey is important. Learning is important, journey is important. Result is not in your hands. Result depends upon only the way you have presented. And if you've done your 100%, you will not. You start thinking of the result, so you get stressed. So stop doing
Exactly.
that, and you will definitely. I'm telling you, Ayush, you just try this out. Condition your mind and say whatever I've learned, I'm going to present it. This is how I prepared. Don't talk to others saying that I can't do, no negative talks, and just go for the examination and write. You will definitely succeed.
Yes. I hope you got your answer. So we have another question from Vansh Narang. What major things one should focus on or keep in mind at last minute revision?
Yes. Last minute revision, you have to keep two things in mind. Number one, keep calm. That is very important. Keep calm because the more you are tensed, because peace of mind is something which is very important. You have to maybe do a breathing exercise, calm your mind first. Number two, you need to be clear with whatever you have learned. If you have learned 70% of the syllabus, no problem. 50%, no problem. But you should be clear with what you have learned because just the last minute, whatever notes you have, you need to revise those notes. Go to the examination, read the question. Remember, for every examination, there will be one or two questions which you don't know. You will not know, definitely. But you need to attempt that, and you can attempt it if you have learned the whole lesson. So it is like you need to understand in an examination hall, write all what you know. The questions, if it is a negative marking, don't attempt. Otherwise, if it is a subjective paper, I would always suggest you that you attempt the question because once you start thinking, your prior knowledge, what you have heard in the class, and what you have read in the textbook will help you to write couple of sentences. So you will score. So that is thing. So keep calm and revise your last minute notes. That's it. And don't discuss anything about exam. You have learned this lesson with your friends. Just keep cool.
Okay, and another question from the e-learning cafe. Bad handwriting, does it affect exam writing and scores negatively? What to do?
Yes, yes, it affects to some extent. Whether you agree or disagree, presentation has been always a very important part. And I would suggest that if you really have an incorrigible handwriting, something which is illegible, then you need to, number one, practice on your handwriting. Still, if it is not happening, then you need to space your handwriting so that it looks neat. It looks neat. Sometimes what happens, people can't change their handwriting overnight. So what you can do is you space the words, put it in something, put it in paragraphs, and in such a way when it is subjective paper, because handwriting is generally looked into a subjective paper only. And in subjective paper, if it is bad handwriting, the examiner will not be very much keen on reading the whole content. And second thing, what you can do is highlight the important points. That will help you. That will help you. You can use a highlighter or you can use, instead of red pen, I think you can use any other blue or black to highlight things. So that will, the examiner's quick view will be there. And presentation matters. And why? Because too many of scratches and cuttings and all will give a very first impression because he will be correcting around 20 or 30 papers in a day. And imagine if he looks at this, the interest level comes down. So what you can do, you will not get scores, negative scores. You will not be able to get a very high score because the examiner will not read through the whole answer. Instead of getting five, you may get around 2 or 3 marks for that question. So you're missing out. So what you can do is try to space out your answers, write in paragraphs, highlight the points if your handwriting is not good, and work on your handwriting.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable session and hope to see you soon.
Okay, I
Okay.
hope it is useful
Okay.
for
Yeah.
all. I think it is useful for you. Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Okay, ma'am. Take care.